So the Xbox handheld was canceled, and then a week later or so, Xbox says, "Hey, here's our next generation of Xbox stuff," and it looks like the handheld is coming back. But there's a lot to unpack with the video that Xbox just put out. It's 77 seconds long, a minute and 17 seconds, and it is absolutely jam packed with information. The thing that I think is the most important here is we saw the bug that happened a week or so ago where a lot of Xbox games started showing up on the Xbox PC app, and then they say the same thing in this video. And I think where there's smoke, there's fire. So we'll get to that in a moment, and I'll explain my reasoning. Before we get fully into the 77-second video and going through it piece by piece, because it's super dense and we have to talk about what they're talking about, because it seems like they're talking about many things with the words that they used. I had done a video 26 months ago, over 2 years ago, about how it would be possible for Xbox to do an Xbox handheld because of the Series S. So by taking a look at the power envelope of all of those systems and trying to reduce that down into something that a handheld could do reasonably, that was, 2 years ago. And I had really planned on it being for like 2025, like 2025, the holiday of this year is where I suspected that it might actually be possible. Even if that is next year, we can get better parts to actually accommodate this reality a little bit sooner. But if we just go ahead and start looking at the next generation of Xbox, let's start pulling out what all that means and how we might have already gotten a clue as to where that stands for the Windows side of Xbox. So let's jump straight into the video.
At Xbox, our vision is for you to play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want.
The video starts off immediately with, at Xbox, our vision is for you to play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want. And that is immediately followed up with, that's why we're investing in our next generation hardware lineup. So there's a lot to unpack here because I think that it means more than what they're actually saying. And there's two things going on at the same time, technically three things, but this video more or less serves as the Xbox experience on Windows, ultimately. So if we take the preceding part of that to play the games you want, where you want, anywhere you want, what I take that to mean is them being very direct with the Windows side of Xbox as well as Xbox consoles, but also kind of in there as well is PlayStation 5 and the Switch 2. So on Sony and Nintendo platforms as well. So and even mobile, right? Because they bought Activision for the whole mobile slice of the pie. So they are literally targeting everywhere and everything. But in this particular video, let's focus in on the Windows side of things because I think that is where they're going at while still hinting at other future things. So let's go back into the video and see what's next.
That's why we're investing in our next generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories.
So here we see a cross-console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories. Now, every one of those is separated by a comma. In the console one, they can mean their current set of consoles as well as their next generation set of consoles, which I do believe is being implied in this video, even though this is ostensibly talking about PC side. Now, the other part is handheld by itself, not handheld PCs, just handheld. That could mean a whole bunch. That could literally mean Switch 2 as well. So there's just very dense wording here and trying to unpack what they actually mean because I think that the words that they choose are very specific because it applies to a bunch of things. And then PC is obviously PC and then cloud is in there as well. Now, so that is, again, I think that there's very specific wording used. So going forward with that, let's go to the next part of the video.
I am thrilled to share we've established a strategic multi-year partnership with AMD to co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of devices.
So this part is most exciting. Xbox and AMD working together, and like how they have done with the Xbox One and the Xbox Series consoles, where they have made custom silicon with AMD, specifically how they want it for those consoles. And then they leverage, especially with the Xbox Series, they leveraged that chip that they made for the Xbox Series X and made it a beefier one with more RAM, and they put that in blades for their cloud part. And then they bisected all that stuff so that they can do two Series S games on one blade Xbox Series X. So they are going to make the next generation of Xbox hardware because that hardware is getting old and they need denser stuff. So Microsoft being in the cloud means that they need more dense, they need denser stuff. And if they're going to work with AMD, they can get the latest and greatest to make denser stuff, but also hit console and handheld. So that is happening. But what's followed up right after this, I think the B-roll that they chose here is just super confusing, and I tweeted about this, and I'll accept it as B-roll, but we have to talk about it. So the thing that they show right after this.
Including our next generation Xbox consoles.
So here's the problem I have with saying the next generation of Xbox consoles, co-engineering with AMD, and then you show off the Z2E, and the Z2E has an Xbox logo on it. Um, the, the Z2E is a year-old laptop part. Okay, it's the HX370 Strix Point with 4 less CPUs. Everything else on it seems to be exactly the same. The same GPU core clock, the same frequency, the same NPU, just 8 CPUs of some arrangement of P and E cores that we don't know yet. So perhaps that's what Xbox did, was that they went for less CPU, which honestly is better for us, especially in a handheld. But how that's all going to shake out when we actually see it in practice, I'll be able to show you that when I do performance test of the Xbox Ally X. But this specific thing, I think it just falls a little weak because ostensibly it's just a laptop part that is slightly changed. It's not like an Xbox One or an Xbox Series. Like the Xbox Series X is a completely custom part you can't get anywhere else. That is literally Microsoft's, and then they make a gigantic one that they put in their blades. I still think that we're going to be going forward, and Microsoft is going to produce next generation hardware because they need that to increase density and performance in their data centers, especially for Azure, especially for UDNA, where those ML cores are going to be now shared more correctly, because the NPU on this has no cache coherency. And we'll talk about that in just a second.
In your living room and in your hands. Together with AMD, we are advancing the state of art in gaming silicon to deliver the next generation.
I have a big problem with this particular B-roll that they chose, because they're saying to deliver the next generation of graphics innovation, and then they show an exploded view of the Xbox Series X. And I think we could all agree that the Xbox Series X is very much this generation and not the next generation. So again, I don't think that the B-roll that they're choosing is the best here, but perhaps they really can't say all that much. So they're showing off the Z2E B-roll, and they're showing off the Xbox Series X B-roll. I don't think that this is the best thing, but I would have been fine with her just talking into the camera, but I guess, people have short attention spans today, so they need something in their face to just keep them engaged. So let's go to the next part.
Of graphics innovation to unlock a deeper level of visual quality and immersive gameplay and player experiences enhanced with the power of AI, all while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games.
So enhancing games with AI, I need to be very clear here. As insofar as the Z2E, you're not going to enhance games with AI like you think you're going to. You're not going to be upscaling or using FSR4 for frame generation as well. That's just not happening here. There is no cache coherency, so the only thing you're going to be doing with those NPUs, I think, at least the easy solution, is to you could have the AI feed it an image of what is on your screen and then ask for what you need to do next in the game. So it could help be guides, like having an AI guide, an AI game facts for you to help you in your game. Like that is a real thing that they could do today. But for upscaling and frame generation, I think what most people care about, that's not going to be in the Z2E. So let me just temper your expectations. To get back to what we were talking about in the beginning, all while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games. Now, this means ostensibly that people are thinking from a real Xbox hardware. This is what I mean. There's so much dense meaning in this 77-second clip. I think a lot of people, when they saw this, they did not expect it to be PC. But again, remember what I said back in the beginning of this video. There was that bug that happened a week ago where on the Xbox PC app, Xbox 360 games are shown, games that you own on Xbox were shown there that were Xbox games and not on PC. So I think if we take that bug that happened a week ago and this information today, I think we have the hints needed to suggest that what we are likely to see is this new Xbox experience that's first going to come to the Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X. Eventually, as that is rolled out to the rest of Windows, every Windows machine is actually an Xbox. Now, the physical discs inside is still a big question mark, but all of the digital owned games I think we have the pieces there to see that quite literally Windows will be an actual Xbox. So your entire library that you had there will be there. And there's lots of ways that they can accomplish that, especially when you look at the Xbox operating system being a hypervisor and all of the games running in a container state, right? In a VM state. So they already do this with their Xbox Series X blades, right? They have a big blade and they bisect it into two Series S or four Xbox One instances. So they have one hardware that is being subdivided internally to do other things. Microsoft has been doing this in the cloud for a while. So they already have been doing it. There's nothing that's going to stop them from doing it on PCs. You just need to have virtualization and stuff enabled on your machine so that they could do all this stuff.
This is all about building you a gaming platform that's always with you, so you can play the games you want across devices anywhere you want, delivering you an Xbox experience not locked to a single store or tied to one device.
So I'm going to stop right there. Not locked to a single store or tied to one device. I think everyone knows, like, oh, Steam. That's what you mean. You mean Steam. But that's also exciting from the Windows experience, Xbox experience side of Windows, is that you're going to have this nice interface that is controller friendly, completely doing everything through a controller, integrating with all of these third-party stores. So you're going to have Steam. You're probably going to be having Epic Game Store. You're going to have GOG. We don't know what else is going to be there, but those are the main ones. So that's super cool because then it gives you the freedom. And then if you already have digital libraries there, they just kind of also come into your PC. So with your Xbox library that's going to be coming over and all your other libraries coming over, that's very compelling. That is genuinely very compelling, and there's a lot here to like. And this is really, again, I think, focusing on the Windows side while also using words and verbiage that talks about other things.
That's why we're working closely with the Windows team to ensure that Windows is the #1 platform for gaming. The next generation of Xbox is coming to life, and this is just the beginning. We can't wait to show you what's next.
Again, I think that this 77-second video is densely worded, and I do think that the next generation of Xbox consoles and handheld using custom silicon, full custom, is still coming. It's an inevitability because you want to have much better parts. You can't keep on using Xbox Series X with 24 gigs of RAM in a blade. You're going to be wasting density. You need to go to the next generation part, especially with UDNA, where you can have ML stuff, machine learning stuff happening on those cores as well. When you're not playing xCloud and these servers are sitting in Microsoft's Azure, they are 100% going to want to use them for AI purposes. 100%. So they want to leverage newer hardware that can be more dense, and you can also do fancier things on that cloud as well for gaming purposes, insofar as get better streaming support, right? Because xCloud is not the best, especially compared to like GeForce experience. But with this next generation of stuff, especially with the new video encoders that are on RDNA 4, you're going to have much better quality. So there is that aspect of it as well. So there's lots that you want Microsoft wants. Even if they didn't do a console or handheld, they want to make custom silicon. It benefits them in two ways. So it is an inevitability that they are going to make next generation hardware for their own custom silicon on custom hardware. This video is largely about Windows, and the big news here is I think we have enough of the bug and that particular tease playing your Xbox games where you want, that it actually means that Windows is going to be an Xbox. Thank you very much to my YouTube channel members as well as my Patreon members. Your support really means the world to me, guys. I hope this video was informative. As always, guys, thank you for your time, and thanks for watching.